Hey everybody, so I'm in Hiroshima tonight. The first half of our day was basically spent traveling on trains. It was a little over 4 hours to get from Kanazawa to Hiroshima. Um, we finally got here and we have a new guide and he is so slow and he just wants to like stop every 5 minutes and talk about something. So it was probably a little after 2 before we finally got over to the Peace Park. Maybe not quite that. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe about 1:30. The Peace Park is incredible. It definitely felt like the Peace Park was built with looking toward the future in mind, and looking forward to hopefully a future where we can disarm all nuclear powers. We walked around there for a while. Kind of the first thing that you see is the bombed out government building, which is now the Peace Dome. That somehow scientists still don't know how it actually survived the blast, and that was very, very powerful to see. And from there, we walked across the bridge and down beside the river that runs to the Peace Park. They try to construct it all in like a straight line so that you always know where you are and you can always see throughout the park. So from there, we walked on through the park and saw the Children's Peace Monument. And there was a choir of Japanese school children there who were singing, which made a cut. Well, one of our group members lose it. She couldn't. That was the breaking point for her, hearing the kids sing in front of the children's monument to Sadako. She's the girl who's like featured on top of the monument. She's the girl who died of leukemia about 10 years later from after effects of the atomic bomb. She made 1,000 cranes. The old story is that if you make 1,000 cranes, it'll bring you good luck. So she thought she would be healed if she made 1,000 cranes, which of course she was not. And then around that peace monument, they just have these enclosures that are just filled with various arts and crafts made from the origami cranes that people have donated. Apparently there's been like over 11 million cranes donated over time. And they can't keep them all there, obviously, so they actually take them and recycle them. And then give them out as this piece of paper at the museum, a postcard, that's what I'm looking for. And so when you go into the museum, you get handed a postcard, and that's made from the recycled paper cranes. It's a very beautiful postcard. So we passed a green mound of grass. I meant to get a picture of it. I thought we were going to get closer to it, so I didn't snap a picture, and then we never got closer to it, so I didn't get the picture. But it's a grass mound over top of I guess a capsule of some kind, of container of some kind, that houses all the ashes that they swept up out of Hiroshima. They've not really identified whose remains they are. So that was pretty powerful to see. You get closer to the museum itself, and there's a large rectangular, very shallow pool of water that they built as they built it for kind of an honor and for the souls of the people who died within that first half an hour or so after the blast, because so many people died on fire and burning to death, and in the last moments they were screaming and begging for water. Those were typically their last words. And the people who did make it to refugee centers or emergency shelters, who had suffered burns and then died in the next few days, they just screamed over and over for water because the burns were so hot and they were so dehydrated and very sick. So they have this large, beautiful man-made pool of water in front of the museum for the souls of those people, so that they now have water, which is just heart-shattering and devastating in ways that I couldn't even describe. And of course they have a flame at the head of the pool that will continue to burn until nuclear disarmament happens globally, which I imagine will be burning for a very long time. And so the museum itself, I won't really go into a whole lot of detail. I think it's something that you have to see for yourself. The Peace Park is designed, I think, to look forward and to celebrate the beauty of a rebuilt city. The museum is more, there's a lot of shock factor to it, and they want you to come face to face with how horrible that day was and how much it was just hell on earth for everybody who was here. And so it's really something you have to experience yourself. There's a lot of remains that are very powerful. So yeah, it's something that's hard to talk about and something that I think you just have to go through on your own. I really didn't take any pictures. It didn't feel appropriate or respectful to do so. And after we walked through the museum, we came in and checked into our hotel. And then the girls who have been kind of hanging out with this trip had found a Michelin-rated 2-star restaurant in the area that's known for tempura. And so we caught a cab and went and did that, which we were having the worst luck with cabs. I've never hopped into a taxi cab and then held an address in front of their face, only to have them be like, where is that? Where is that? And then like phone in to their like main headquarters and be like, well, where is this? Like, cabs here don't just have GPS. I don't know why that's not a thing, but it's not. And so we've had 3 different cab rides now that was kind of like, I don't really know if they're going to take us where we want to go. So this guy took a while to figure it out and then finally got us there, fortunately. And it was, if you've ever seen the Netflix documentary Jiro Dreams of Sushi, this was like that. It was, it's a restaurant that seats only 8 people at a time. So the 5 of us took up over half the restaurant. And then you sit along a long wooden bar, and the chef is right on the other side from you, and he makes everything fresh in front of you and then puts it in front of you on your plate. So you eat the food one piece at a time. So the whole meal was about 2 hours long. And I got the small course, and then a couple others got the medium course. And the small course was supposed to be 7 courses, and the medium was supposed to be 9. But we were there for 2 hours, and the food never stopped coming, so I'm not really sure where the 7 and 9 came from. I like tempura pretty well. I'm over fish, but I felt like I could deal with fish in tempura form. That said, the first course was a salad, which was delicious. The second course was sushi. And, like, the raw kind, like the sashimi kind, like, not the kind that I eat. And I definitely had to just don't chew, don't think about it, don't taste it, just swallow it, and then take a chug of beer, just get it down, get through this plate. But I thought to myself, oh my god, like, what have I got into? I didn't research this restaurant at all, and I thought, if every single plate is like this, I am so screwed, and I'm at so many yen for a meal that I'm not going to enjoy. But fortunately, that was the only plate, and after that, it was all, like, genuine tempura, and it was mushroom, and burdock root, and swordfish, and just a bunch of different fishes, and apples made into tempura. I mean, just everything you could possibly imagine, and the food just kept coming forever and ever and ever. And then there was miso soup, and then there was rice with shrimp tempura on it, and then we had dessert, and we had a choice, and I had a little scoop of vanilla ice cream, and then I thought we were done, and then the matcha tea came out, and it went on and on and on forever. We were all so full, but like, how do you say no to this? And so all in all, it was a really fantastic experience, and despite that one plate that I was like forcing myself to swallow, I felt like I was on Fear Factor or something trying to eat this raw squid. It was awful. It was awful. I had to keep it in my mouth and try really hard not to throw up, and then finally just swallow it and chug my beer. But the rest of the food was absolutely amazing. The experience was incredible. And it was, like 86 USD for one person's meal, and that is the most I've spent on a meal in an incredibly long time. But hey, you're only in Japan once, more than likely, so it was fun to get that experience here in Hiroshima. And then we just kind of wandered our way back to our hotel, and I'm about to get ready for bed here shortly, but I just wanted to make a quick post to update everybody. Today was not the happy-go-lucky day that most days have been. It was a very emotional day, and kind of full of looking back on a tragedy that we really hope to not repeat. So, not many pictures, but I hope you enjoy the ones that are here. And if you ever get a chance to go to the Hiroshima A-bomb museum, I certainly encourage you to do so. I think it's worth seeing in person. So I will be traveling home in just a few days. I'm quite excited. And tomorrow we go to Miyajima Island And then after that, we go to Kyoto, which is our last city, and we'll get to stay in our last hotel as of tomorrow night and finally have our luggage with us nonstop and hopefully get some crazy souvenir shopping done here in the next couple of days. Or I think our schedule's pretty jam-packed, but I know everybody's kind of wanting to get their souvenir shopping done now, right before we leave, because nobody really wanted to haul souvenirs around for 2 weeks, so we're all ready to kind of do that now. Hopefully we can all fit in time to do that. So, well, y'all have a good night, or I suppose in the United States, have a good rest of your day, as it's now morning for you. And I will post again tomorrow. Good night.